Hello, friends. You are watching Economics Fundamentals. This is Mohammad Nasir. Today, we have arrived over the very important part of Chapter 1 Macroeconomics, that is, calculation of national income. It is very important to tell you that calculation of national income was very first done by Dadabhai Naoroji, who is also known as Grand Old Man of India. Along with him, there were some notable economists like Findlay Shiraz, PKRV Rao, etc., who have contributed significantly towards the calculation of national income. So, today we will discuss how the measurement of national income takes place, what are the methods of calculations. You must be aware all the basics concepts which are related with national income, like market price, factor cost, normal residence, domestic territory. This we have discussed earlier. In our very first class, we have discussed all these things, and then the concept of depreciation, investment, and many more. So, we have discussed all these basic concepts. Now, we will talk about the measurement of national income. So, first, we will look about the introduction part. As you know that in the process of production, income is generated, or we can say that the output emerging from production process is distributed among factors of production in the form of money income. Example, rent, wages, interest, and profits. Thus, production generates income. This generated income gives rise to the demand for produced goods and services. In other words, the households, that is the supplier of factor production or the owners of factor production, spend their income on goods and services to satisfy their wants. Hence, income creates expenditure, which ultimately leads to further production. This time, we are talking about the circular flow of income. This also we have done in our previous classes. In short, production generates income, income gives rise to demand or expenditure, and expenditure in turn leads to the more production. In this way, the three flows, that is production, income generation, and expenditure, become circular. So, there are three methods of measuring national income. They are namely the value added method or production method, the income method, and the expenditure method as well. So, these all methods have derived from these three flows: production, income, and expenditure. So, today we will have a look only the first method, that is the value added method, product or production method, which is also known as net output method or industrial origin method. First, we will look at a glance the value added method. The gross value added, we have to calculate this in all the three major sectors. What are the three major sectors of economy? You all are aware with that. Primary sector, which constitute agriculture mainly, or which is exploit the natural resources like agriculture, fishing, animal husbandry, mining, quarrying, etc. Now we calculate the GVA, that is gross value added, in secondary sector which constitute the manufacturing sector, the industrial sector, and then we calculate the gross value addition in tertiary sector, which is also known as service sector like banking and insurance. Then we will arrive at GVAMP, which is nothing but gross value added at market price. What is market price and factor cost? This we have also discussed. You must be aware. Market price constitute all indirect taxes and less subsidies. But in factor cost, it reduces or deduct the indirect taxes and plus subsidies. Then we arrived after deducting the depreciation or CFC. CFC is nothing but consumption of fixed capital. Depreciation, you all are aware, that is the normal wear and tear or natural obsolescence of the fixed assets. Then we arrived over the net value added at market price after adding first, second, third, and fourth point. After that, we have to deduct NIT. NIT is nothing but the net indirect tax. And then we will arrive over the NVAFC, which is nothing but net value added at factor cost. It is also known as net domestic product at factor cost, which is nothing but the domestic income. What is domestic income? The income which is generated within the domestic territory of the country. Then after adding the NFIA, NFIA means net factor income from abroad. We will arrive over the NNPFC, which is nothing but the national income formula. These all things are very technical, and at a glance we are looking over these. We will discuss one by one after the next slides. So in short, the formula is sales plus change in stock, which is known as value of output, then minus IC, which is intermediate consumption. Then we will arrive at gross value addition. Then we will minus consumption of fixed capital. So then we will arrive at net value addition and minus NIT, net value addition at factor cost, plus NFIA, that is net factor income from abroad. We will arrive at national income. Now we will discuss these in details also. First, we will introduce this. This method is also known as net output method or industrial origin method. The estimation of national income on the basis of final output method does not give us a correct picture. It is because of the problem of double counting. The problem of double counting leads to overestimation of national income. Moreover, another problem arises when the producers themselves retain a part of their produce for self-consumption. To avoid the problem of double counting and of underestimation, value-added method proves to be very useful. Under value-added method, national income is estimated by taking the contribution of value added made by each producing enterprise to production in the domestic territory of a country. Let's have a look about an example. A very simple example. Suppose there is an economy where only two producing sectors are there. Imagine the first is a farmer who produce a wheat worth rupees 100, and second one is a baker who bake the breads worth rupees 200. The wheat which is produced by the farmer, the half of the wheat kept by himself, and the wheat worth rupees 50 he sold to the baker. And by taking this 50 rupees wheat, the baker prepared the breads for worth rupees 200. So what will be the value of output? The value of output as far as the farmer is concerned, that is 100. As far as the baker is concerned, that is 200. So value of output is 300. But this is not the value added or value addition, because if we want to calculate the value addition, then we have to deduct the cost of intermediate consumption. What was the intermediate consumption? The raw material which the baker used. The baker used the wheat as raw material for making the biscuits or breads or whatever he is going to make. So in this case, 50 rupees wheat he has used as raw material. So that is the intermediate cost which has to be deducted. The value addition is done by the baker is only 150. That is 200 minus 50. And 100 is done by the farmer himself. So this, because farmer has not incurred any intermediate consumption, so that 100 plus 150, this 250 will be the value addition by these two producing units. Now, what are the steps involved in value added method? First, we have to identify and classify of productive enterprises. As I told you, there are mainly three producing sectors. First is primary sector. It includes all agricultural and allied activities. For example, forestry, fishing, mining, quarrying, etc. The secondary sector, this sector is also called a manufacturing sector. It converts one type of commodity into another. For example, manufacturing of cotton cloth from cotton yarn, sugar from sugarcane, and furniture from wood, etc. Now, tertiary sector, it facilitates these two sectors by providing the services like banking and insurance, trade and commerce, etc. Now, after calculating the gross value addition in all these three sectors, then we came to know the gross value added at market price. Market price, as I told you earlier also, it includes the indirect taxes. If we deduct indirect taxes, then we will arrive towards the factor cost. Factor cost is the main cost which is accruing to the factors of the production. So estimation of net value added means we have to deduct what the consumption of fixed capital, or that is depreciation. To arrive at the net value added by the enterprises, we have to deduct the following items from the value of output: value of intermediate consumption, consumption of fixed capital, and net indirect taxes. Then we will have to arrive over the net value added at factor cost. In short, value added is equal to value of output. In our given example, this was the 250, 150 by the bakers and 100 by the farmer, minus intermediate consumption, then minus consumption of fixed capital, which is nothing but the depreciation, and net indirect taxes. The sum total of net values added by all the industrial sector in the domestic territory of the country gives us the net domestic product at factor cost. What is net domestic product at factor cost? It is the income earned by the factors in the form of wages, profits, rent, interest, etc. within the domestic territory of a country. It is also called net domestic factor income or domestic income. Then again, moving forward, net value added, which is value added by primary sector, value added by secondary sector, and value added by tertiary sector. Then another important component is NFIA, which is nothing but the net factor income from abroad. What is factor income from abroad? Let's take an example. Suppose the State Bank of India, which is the Indian bank, is having a branch in Singapore and it is earning a profit over there. So what kind of profit it is? Because State Bank of India is a normal resident of India. You know, the normal resident and the citizens. Normal resident may or may not be the citizen of that particular country, but he should perform his economic activities like consumption, production, and investment in the concerned country. So State Bank of India is a normal resident. It is an institution which is known as normal resident of India. So the profit getting by State Bank of India from the Singapore branch will be added to the national income of the country because it is the factor income received from abroad. So net factor income from abroad is the difference between factor income received from abroad and factor income paid to abroad. Suppose, for example, that Indian embassy located in Pakistan is a part of India or Indian domestic territory. Some Pakistani workers are working in the Indian embassy and they are getting their salary. So their salary will be included in domestic income of India, but their salary will be excluded from the national income of India. So this is how we calculate the national income. In short, we can see that NNPFC means net national product or national income at factor cost is equal to NDPFC, which is NVAFC, net value added, plus NFIA, that is net factor income from abroad. Now NFIA is factor income received from abroad minus factor income paid to abroad. Now, what are the precautions which we have to take while calculating national income? The sale and purchase of second-hand goods should not be included. However, the commission on that will be included because commission is a fresh income, that is fresh factor income. The value of retained goods for self-consumption should be included. Imputed value of owner-occupied houses should be included. Suppose I am working in my house and I am occupied it. So its income will be included. The imputed rent means the market value of that accommodation will be included. Own account production of fixed capital by household firms and the government should be included. Domestic services are not included in national income. However, production of services by paid employees will be included, like housemaid, the services of housemaid, because they are paid, so they will be included. But the services which is given by our wife or our mother, so will not be included. Leisure will also be not included. Leisure constitute a major part of the welfare, but hence it is not be converted into the monetary form, so it will not be included. Next, here are some items and their treatment, how they will be treated while calculating national income with value-added method. Production for self-consumption, yes, of course, it will be included as it is a part of national income. Sales tax, it is included in national net national product at market price. But while we calculate it at factor cost, then we have to deduct it because it is a part of indirect tax. Services of owner-occupied houses, imputed rent of such houses should be included. Value of intermediate goods will not be included because it will lead to the problem of double counting. Next, final goods, yes, will be included because these are the value of final goods and services. Own account production included, it is a part of national income. Services of housewife, as I told you, not included because these services are rendered free of cost. Services of free government dispensary, yes, of course, it will be included because it is treated as the productive services. Subsidies, they are a part of NNPFC. They will be included in NNPFC but are not included in NNPMP. Subsidies are a part of factor payment. Consumption of fixed capital, that is depreciation, it is included in consumption, calculating the country's GNP, gross national product. Wherever the gross will be the parameter or the aggregate, then it will constitute the depreciation. And when we are arriving over the net, that is net national product, net domestic product, then depreciation will be excluded. Next, minerals, wealth of a nation. The part of mineral wealth will be included which has been extracted in that particular year because we calculate the national income during the period of 1 year. Next, increase in prices of a stock lying with the trader. If some stock is lying with the trader and its price will be increases, so that will not be included because there is no corresponding increase in output. Housing services included in national income because they fall under the category of own account production of services. Domestic services by paid domestic staff included in national income, as we have discussed earlier also. Next, free services by the government included in national income. These are productive services. Their value is estimated on the basis of cost. Free meals to worker, it is included. It is a part of the compensation of employee. Profits earned by foreign banks in India. Profit earned by foreign banks in India will not be included in India's national. However, it will be a part of the domestic income because it is earning within the domestic territory of the country. Now we take some numerical examples, the numerical parts. First example is calculated value added by firm X from the following data. The figures are in lakhs. Sales is given, which is rupees 600 lakh. Purchase of raw material 200, import of raw material 100, import of machines 200, closing stock 40, opening stock 10. Now have a look the solution. First, we have to calculate the value of output. Then we have to deduct the intermediate cost or intermediate consumption from that, and we will be arrive at gross value added. So we look about the previous slide once again. That is, we have to calculate the intermediate cost, which is purchase of raw material. The raw material means intermediate consumption. Import of raw material. Import means international purchase, like domestic sale and export. Export is the international sale. So purchase of raw material and import of raw material, these two constitute the intermediate consumption. Have a look. Purchase of raw material 200, import of raw material 100. So this constitute together, that is 300. 300 means the intermediate consumption. Next, sales. as we have discussed, that sales plus change in stock is the value of output. So sales, which is of 600, and change in stock means closing stock minus opening stock, which is nothing but the 30. 40 minus 10, it is 30. So 630 is the value of output. Intermediate consumption is 300. So then we have arrived the 330 lakhs, which is nothing but the gross value addition which was required. Let's have a look the another example. From the following data about a firm X, calculate gross value added at factor cost. Do remember in previous calculation we have calculated the gross value added at market price. Gross value added at, oh yes, gross value added at factor cost, because there is no component of indirect taxes over here. So this we have calculated. Now we will arrive over the next example, which is from the following data, calculate gross value added at factor cost. So first is sales. The figures are in thousand. Sales is 350, opening stock 30, closing stock 20, purchase of machinery 150, purchase of intermediate goods 170, subsidy 40, depreciation 35. Now have a look. First we have to calculate the value of output, which is nothing but the sales plus change in stock. So what was the amount of sales? It is 350. And change in stock means closing stock minus opening stock. So it is here the closing stock is 20 and opening stock is 30, means there is a fall in the inventory. So don't worry, the figure will be in minus. So 350 plus 20 minus 30, that will be 10 will be deducted. So 340 value of output. Gross value added at market price, value of output minus intermediate cost. So value of output is 340 and intermediate cost is 170. How 170 has arrived? Purchase of intermediate products. So 170 is given here. So we will deduct 170 from 340 and we arrived 170, that is GVA at MP. Gross value added at market price. Now we have to arrive gross value added at FC. FC means factor cost. So how we calculate it? We have to deduct the net indirect taxes. And how we calculate net indirect taxes? Indirect taxes minus subsidy. So gross value added at FC means gross value added at MP minus indirect taxes plus subsidy. So don't be confused why we are adding subsidy over here if we are saying that net indirect taxes is equal to indirect taxes minus subsidy. Because if we calculate net indirect taxes separately, means we have to deduct indirect taxes, deduct subsidy from indirect taxes. But if we are writing in continuation, then we have to write minus indirect taxes plus subsidy. Ultimately, the subsidy is getting deducted from indirect taxes. So 170 plus 40, that is 210. This is GVA at FC, which is nothing but the gross domestic product at factor cost. Now we will look one more example. That is calculate by, if you want to write all these numericals, so pause the video and write it down. Next, calculate by value added method. Then GVAMP means gross value added at market price, and NI, that is national income. NNPFC means net national product at factor cost. These are the figures. Now have a look the solution. GVMP means value of output by different sectors. So there are all these three sectors are given: value of output by primary sector, value of output by secondary, and value of output by tertiary. 40, 20, and 25. These all together will constitute the value of output by all these three sectors. So we will arrive 85. Then value of intermediate inputs or intermediate cost will be deducted, which is also given in continuous form. Value of output purchased by primary sector, secondary sector, and tertiary sector, which is 20, 10, and 15 respectively. So it will be deducted from the value of output, and then we will arrive rupees 40,000, which will be the GVAMP or GDPMP, gross domestic product at Market price. It is nothing but it is the money value of all final goods and services produced within the domestic territory of a country during an accounting year. So domestic territory makes the difference between domestic income and national income. Now NNPFC. So first part has been solved. What was asking in the first part? GVAMP. This we have calculated in the first step. GVAMP means that is 40 rupees 40 or GDPMP. Now NNPFC or national income is GDPMP minus depreciation. Why we are deducting depreciation means we want to make it NDPMP, net domestic product at MP. Then we will deduct NIT, that is net indirect tax, which is nothing but indirect tax minus subsidy. So it will become minus 8, means NIT is given over here directly. So 8 will be deducted. Then NFIA means net factor income from abroad, which is given as 50. Sometime the two components of NFIA will be given, that is factor income paid to abroad and factor income received from abroad. So what we will be take into the computation? We will take the difference between net factor income from abroad and minus net factor income paid to abroad. The figure may be positive or negative, that doesn't matter. So we will be calculate accordingly. So now 70,000 will come as national income or NNP-FC. So this is what the calculation of national income by value added method is all about. Hope you will be benefited. Now what the national income means? It is the sum of factor income earned by the normal residents in the form of wages, profits, rent and interest during an accounting year within the domestic territory or abroad. Okay, here abroad is also added. So hope you will be benefited. If you don't understand in one go, please watch this video again and again. Thank you for watching.